My mother-in-law offered me a €2 million apartment. Sensing a trap, I refused and passed it to my sister-in-law. My mother-in-law's face went pale, and the truth that unfolded left me shaken. My name is Elena, and I have been married into this family for 3 years. 3 years was enough time for me to understand every habit, every glance from my husband's family. I'm a freelance interior designer with a respectable income, even better than my husband, Stefan, who works an administrative job at a small firm. This gave me a degree of independence, though Isabella, my mother-in-law, always tried to exert control. That Saturday evening, as usual, was for our family dinner. Besides my husband and me, there was my sister-in-law, Clara, a final-year university student who considered herself the family's princess. The dinner seemed more lavish than usual. Isabella had personally cooked the roasted chicken I loved, along with the beef bourguignon that was Stefan's favorite. The atmosphere was initially warm. Just as we were finishing and about to have a bowl of fresh berries, Isabella suddenly put her cutlery down with a loud clink, startling us all. She said nothing, slowly pulling a cream-colored envelope from her handbag. It looked ordinary, but the way she held it with such reverence sparked a vague suspicion in me. "Today," Isabella began, her voice unusually loud, as if wanting the neighbors to hear, "I have an important announcement." Stefan, ever the simple man, shifted eagerly. "What is it, Mother? You're making me nervous." Isabella shot a quick glance at me. Her expression was unreadable. Not love, not hate, but a cold calculation. "Elena," she said my name. I nodded gently. "You've been married to Stefan for 3 years. You've worked hard. Your design work is demanding, yet you've managed the household perfectly. I feel for you." I almost laughed out loud. Felt for me? If she felt for me, she wouldn't have made me clean the house every weekend while Clara just watched television. She wouldn't have scrutinized every cent I spent on personal items. Isabella was famously stingy, especially with her own money. She had never given me a gift of any real value. She slid the envelope forward, pulling out a color-printed document. "This is a copy of the ownership certificate for an apartment in the new Grandview Heights development, right in the city center. I just bought it. Over 90 square meters, market price is around €2 million. The room fell silent. Clara dropped her knife. Stefan's jaw dropped, his eyes wide. Isabella magnanimously pushed the paper towards me. "This apartment is my gift to you. A compensation for all the hardships you've endured in this family. €2 million. It was too large, too sudden, and too inconsistent with my mother-in-law's character. My first feeling wasn't joy, but a chill down my spine. A pie falling from the sky is almost always a trap. My intuition screamed at me. I maintained a calm expression, examining the copy. The details were clear. It was indeed in one of the most expensive parts of the city. The suspicion in my heart grew. What was Isabella plotting to require such a grand bait? I knew that accepting this wasn't just accepting a property. It was accepting an invisible chain, a debt of gratitude Isabella would use to control me for life. A €2 million apartment couldn't be gifted so easily and unconditionally. I was certain a huge problem was hidden behind this extravagant gift. I looked up into my mother-in-law's eyes. Her expression was not relaxed but tense, a forced smile playing on her lips. "Thank you, Mother. This gift is too generous." "I'm truly surprised," I said, deliberately pausing to observe everyone's reactions. Stefan was breathing heavily, and Clara's lips were pressed into a thin line, her eyes burning with jealousy. This charade needed to end before I was cornered. I would refuse, but I had to do it tactfully. The silence stretched on. The pressure was immense, especially from Stefan and Clara. Clara couldn't take it anymore. She slammed her hand on the table. "Mother, this makes no sense. Why Elena? She has her own career, plenty of money, and she already has a home with Stefan. I'm the one who needs a place. I'm about to graduate and need a stable foundation to start my career. Why are you showing such favoritism?" Stefan didn't defend me. Instead, he eagerly urged me. "Clara, stop talking nonsense. Elena, what are you waiting for? It's €2 million. A central apartment. We could rent it out for a good income. Mother is being generous. You should accept it immediately. Don't make her sad. His greedy eyes confirmed my suspicions. He only saw the money, not the risk. I took a slow breath. Mother, Stefan, Clara, I began calmly. I am so grateful for your kindness. But this gift is too precious. I dare not accept it. Isabella frowned. What are you saying? I've already decided. I smiled, sincere yet firm. Mother, you know my interior design work provides a stable income. Stefan and I already have this small home. We're fine. I turned to Clara, but Clara is different. She's about to graduate and needs a strong start. She needs her own asset to build her career. An apartment in such a prime location. I think Clara deserves it far more than I do. I pushed the paper back towards Isabella. Mother, I believe this gift should be for Clara. You should transfer the title to her. It would be a wonderful gift for your darling daughter. I would be very happy if you did. Stefan immediately protested. Elena, what are you doing? Don't pretend to be so noble. 2 million euros is not a small sum. I just looked at him and shook my head. But Isabella's reaction confirmed everything. Her face, already stern, became hard and ugly. Her knuckles turned white as she gripped the paper. She stared at me in shock. Not because of my generosity, but because she couldn't believe I had refused such a massive bait. Her plan was to force me to accept it, then reveal the hidden mortgage debt. By pushing the gift onto Clara, I had trapped her. Clara, on the other hand, was ecstatic. Her eyes lit up. She didn't care about any plan. All she saw was a free 2 million euro apartment. Mother, you heard her. I'm the one who needs it. Give it to me, Mother. She already gave it up. Isabella had no choice. She sighed heavily and practically threw the paper at Clara. Fine. If you want it, it's yours. But remember, it's your asset. If anything happens, you deal with it yourself. Clara cheered, clutching the paper. Stefan looked at me with immense regret and anger, as if I had thrown away his fortune. I knew Isabella's drama wasn't over. The fact that she only had a copy, and her furious reaction to my refusal solidified my certainty. This apartment had a problem. A very big one. Later, Stefan furiously berated me. Are you a fool, Elena? 2 million euros? I've never seen that much money in my life. What were you thinking, giving it to Clara? I remained calm. Stefan, Mother made it clear it was a gift for me, not for us. Besides, anything that comes too easily usually comes with trouble. Just you wait. That apartment is not as simple as it seems. He continued to grumble. I immediately texted my best friend, Sophie. She was a risk manager at a bank and could check property information. Sophie, can you urgently look up an apartment for me? I suspect it has a mortgage attached. Please check the owner, transaction history, and any debts very carefully. I sent her the address. Just as I finished cleaning, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Clara. Elena, thanks for giving me the apartment. I'm so happy. I just saw it. The interior is a bit dated. Since you're a designer, could you sponsor me 10,000 euros to renovate it in a celebrity style? Think of it as helping me get started. I read the message, disgusted by her shameless greed. She gets a 2 million euro property for free, and now she wants me to pay for her decorations. This text strengthened my resolve. I had refused the trap. I would not get entangled in any detail related to that apartment. The next morning, Isabella showed up at our door, holding a large bag of fruit, her expression softer than usual. Mother, good morning, I said, letting her in. She sat me down on the sofa. Elena, about yesterday. I think you were a bit hasty. She lowered her voice. That apartment, it's too valuable. Clara is still young and naive. If she holds such a large asset, what if she gets swindled? You're mature and responsible. I would feel much more at ease if you kept it. Please take it back. You can't make your mother sad, can you? Her goal was obvious. She wanted me to take back the apartment and the financial burden attached to it. Mother, I said, my voice calm but firm. I'm sorry, but I can't. You made your decision publicly yesterday. If you take it back now, it would be humiliating for you and hurtful for Clara. The gift has been given. It's best to let Clara handle it herself. Isabella could no longer maintain her gentle facade. She slammed her hand on the table. Elena, what is your problem? Are you trying to see Clara in trouble? You must take this apartment back. If you don't, you're not treating me like a mother. It was time to play my card. I took out my phone and played a recording of the previous night's dinner. Her loud declaration of the gift, my polite refusal, and her reluctant agreement to give it to Clara filled the room. You recorded me? Isabella's face went white with shock. I did it because I knew that when a €2 million asset is given away so unusually, it must be mortgaged or have legal issues, I stated coolly. Please don't make this harder. Go and sort out the problem with Clara. The truth being exposed, she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I felt a wave of relief. Now, I just had to wait for the exact information from Sophie. That afternoon, Sophie's text arrived. Elena, I checked. The apartment is indeed in your mother-in-law's name, but it has a €1 million mortgage with a small private lending company, taken out last October. The payment is due at the end of this year. Be very careful. You were lucky. €1 million, a massive debt. The €2 million gift was actually a debt bomb she wanted to pass to me. I immediately called my lawyer, Mr. Dubois. I explained the situation. He listened carefully. Miss Elena, legally, a verbal gift was made and accepted. To ensure you are completely clear, we need a written agreement signed by Miss Posavin-Iksteinov, Clara confirming the transfer and, if possible, a clause about the donor's responsibility to disclose any defects like debt on the property. How can I get her to sign that? I asked. We will use her own greed and lack of knowledge, Mr. Dubois suggested. Tell her it's a necessary procedure for her to gain full rights to the property. Just then the doorbell rang. It was Clara with a decorator. Elena, look. This is the architect I hired. He said a classic European design would only cost about €5,000. I need you to transfer the money now. You gave me the house, so you should help me finish the job. This was my chance. Clara, I said coldly. The apartment is yours. All related costs are your responsibility. What? You can't be so irresponsible. You're just being cheap, she shrieked. I went to my study and returned with a draft of the agreement Mr. Dubois had sent. Clara, I will give you the €5,000 on one condition. You sign this document. It's a simple commitment confirming the apartment is officially yours and that you are fully responsible for all related issues, including disputes, debts, and maintenance costs. Sign it, and I'll transfer the money immediately. I emphasized the words fully responsible and debts. Clara stared at the legal text, her greed warring with a vague fear. Debts? What debts? Mother said it was clean. Whether it's clean or not is for you to find out. It's your property, I replied. If it's clean, just sign. If you don't dare to sign, it proves you know there's a problem. The decorator, realizing the situation was complex, quickly excused himself. Terrified, Clara fled, shouting, "You're trying to trap me! I'm telling Mother!" I had won the second round. I didn't spend a cent and had planted the seed of doubt about the €1 million debt in her mind. As expected, Stefan appeared that evening, attempting a reconciliation. Elena, what did you do? You made Clara cry to Mother all afternoon. I ignored his question and placed a file on the table. Stefan, look at this. It was the €1 million mortgage document and a breakdown of our household expenses for the past 2 years. What is this? He asked. It's the mortgage on the gift apartment. The debt you and your mother wanted me to take on. Stefan went pale but tried to defend his mother. That can't be. Call her and ask, I said flatly. You came here to convince me to take the apartment back, right? So I would shoulder the debt and you and your mother would be safe? He tried to deflect. No, Elena. Mother just thinks the property is safer in your hands. We could rent it out, use the money for our living expenses. I pointed to the expense sheet. Our living expenses? Stefan, You've contributed less than 5% to our household costs for the past 2 years. I pay the rent, the bills, the groceries. I've even paid off your credit card debt several times. You live off my money, and now you want the rental income from a mortgaged apartment for your expenses? He stared at the floor, exposed and ashamed. I won't take the apartment back, I concluded firmly. And Stefan, I've thought about this carefully. A husband who only sees his wife as a solution to his family's financial problems is not a partner I can rely on. I'm filing for divorce. He looked up, shocked. Divorce? Elena, you can't be serious. I am, I said, opening the door for him. Go and tell your mother and sister that it's all over. A few days later, my friend Sophie called. Elena, your mother-in-law and Clara are having a massive fight at the apartment. It's about the mortgage. This was the perfect opportunity. I drove there and, standing outside the door, recorded the argument on my phone. I told you, Isabella shrieked. I was going to give it to Elena. She has the money to pay the debt, but you had to be greedy and take it. You're the one who lied, Clara sobbed. You're my mother and you tricked me. You deliberately hid the €1 million debt. Their family bond had completely shattered over money. 2 days later, the creditor, a stern-looking man named Mr. Moreau, showed up at the apartment with 2 associates. I watched from a cafe across the street. He presented documents to a terrified Clara. Pay the €1 million or hand over the property in 3 days. Isabella tried to negotiate, but Mr. Moreau was unyielding, pointing at Clara as the legal owner. They left, and chaos erupted inside. Clara's desperate texts began flooding my phone. Elena, please, I beg you, take the apartment back. The creditors are here. Please save me. I sent one final, decisive reply. The apartment is yours. You accepted it. This is your problem to solve. I am not responsible for your mother's €1 million debt. The next day, Mr. Moreau found me at my studio. Miss Elena, he said, his tone accusatory. We're here about the apartment and the debt. We know you are the only one in the family with the financial means. You can't escape this responsibility. I calmly smiled and pushed a file across the table. Mr. Moreau, I understand, but I am not involved. Please review these documents. I presented everything, the recording of the gift transfer, the legal agreement draft, and the mortgage file. As you can see, this is a matter between your company, Miss Isabella, and Miss Clara. I withdrew the moment I suspected a problem. Mr. Moreau and his men reviewed the evidence. His expression shifted from coldness to anger, directed not at me but at Isabella and Clara. Miss Elena, he said, his voice now respectful. We apologize for disturbing you. It's clear we were deceived. We will not bother you again. The final consequence came swiftly. Unable to pay the debt, Isabella was forced to sell the family home she lived in at a loss to pay off Mr. Moreau. She and Clara were left nearly penniless, forced to move into a tiny, run-down rental apartment. Their relationship, already frayed, devolved into constant, bitter arguments, their story becoming cautionary gossip among the neighbors. Clara, who dreamed of a celebrity lifestyle, had to take up manual jobs, working late shifts at a supermarket to make ends meet. Stefan's own finances collapsed. His long-hidden credit card debt of €1,500 resulted in a lawsuit from the bank, ruining his credit score. My divorce was finalized smoothly. I was free. My interior design studio flourished as I focused on creating safe, independent living spaces for women. One day, I passed by my old neighborhood and learned from the building manager that Isabella was now on social assistance, her pension garnished to pay off remaining debts. I felt no satisfaction, only a quiet sense of finality. They had chosen their path of deceit and were living with the consequences. I, on the other hand, had chosen my principles. My life was now filled with creative projects, financial independence, and true peace. Standing before a community group, sharing my story, I spoke not of money, but of the lessons learned. A woman's happiness, I told them, is not a gift from others. It is something she builds herself, with wisdom, independence, and unbreakable principles. I I had walked out of the mire, and a brilliant life was waiting for me.